Join me as I dive deep into the disciples of Christ denomination and try to uncover what it really means to be a part of this faith. The Disciples of Christ, also known as the Christian Church, is a unique denomination within the Christian landscape. What's fascinating about this denomination is its emphasis on unity and simplicity, striving to be a church that is one, holy, and united. This might spark curiosity in you, and rightly so, as there's more to the disciples of Christ than meets the eye. One common misconception about the disciples of Christ is that they are a non-denominational church, which isn't entirely accurate. While they do seek to transcend traditional denominational boundaries, they are indeed a denomination with their own distinct history, theology, and practices. Another challenge people face is understanding their stance on certain issues, such as baptism and communion, which can be quite different from other Christian denominations. Some might also confuse them with other churches that share similar names but have different beliefs. The disciples of Christ have often been misunderstood, partly due to their adaptability and openness to change. The origins of the disciples of Christ date back to the early 19th century in the United States, emerging from a movement that sought to restore the simplicity and purity of the New Testament church. Founders like Alexander Campbell and Barton Stone played pivotal roles in shaping the denomination's foundational beliefs, which include a strong emphasis on baptism by immersion, the Lord's Supper, and the autonomy of the local church. A key practice of the disciples of Christ is their weekly observance of the Lord's Supper, which serves as a central act of worship. Their approach to faith is characterized by a desire to follow Scripture closely and to foster a sense of community among believers. A pivotal moment in the history of the disciples of Christ was their decision to avoid creedalism, focusing instead on a simple, biblical faith. This approach has allowed for a broad unity among members, who are encouraged to interpret Scripture personally while still being part of a larger community. What encapsulates the essence of the disciples of Christ is their commitment to unity, based on shared Christian values and practices rather than strict doctrinal conformity. This doesn't mean they don't have core beliefs, rather, they emphasize what unites them over what divides them. Their openness and adaptability have been both strengths and challenges, reflecting their pursuit of being a church that embodies the unity and simplicity of the early Christian church. In summary, the disciples of Christ stand out for their commitment to unity, simplicity, and a return to New Testament Christianity. They offer a unique perspective within the Christian landscape, emphasizing personal interpretation of Scripture and community.